This is an Oura Ring and it has lived on my finger for the past 5 years. So today I'm going to run you through the good, the bad and the ugly when it comes to this little beautiful gadget and why you need it or why you don't need it. But before we get into it, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and we haven't met yet, hi, hello, welcome. It's so nice to have you here. My name is Heini, in case you didn't know, and I am a women's wellness coach and occasional bodybuilder who is just so purely in love with the gym, self-care and wellness, and I'm documenting every single bit of my journey on this channel. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you click subscribe, like this video and comment something nice below for the girlies, because let's be real, this channel is mainly for the girlies. But today's video is not just going to be for the girlies, it's going to be for every single one of you who are considering buying an Oura Ring or investing into this gadget or finding more out about it. So what is an Oura Ring? It is a wellness tracker. It's a little ring that you put on your finger and it collects a load of data about your body. I got my first ring for my birthday in 2019 and I have been thinking about getting the Oura Ring for a long time. At the time I had the Gen 2, which then I upgraded for a discounted price to Gen 3, and now they have come out with Gen 4, which I have yet to update to. I'm really excited about the new design features, but genuinely speaking, for the last 5 years I have worn this and only took it off whenever I was lifting weights or whenever it needed a little bit of charge. The ring itself was designed to help you live according to Nordic wellness principles. It started out as a sleep tracker for you to optimize your sleep, and then slowly and steadily, with the upgrades that they have made to the ring itself and to the app itself, it has developed into a full-blown wellness tracker that helps you improve your sleep quality, helps you rest a lot more, helps you with activity goals, put your fitness goals into the forefront of your life, and also allows you to improve your health so you can live longer. That is exactly why I wanted to invest into the Oura Ring. And as you can see, I'm also wearing an Apple Watch, so later during this video I'll explain the main differences between the two and which one serves what purpose. Talking about purpose, actually one of the first things that I ask anyone who asks me about the Oura Ring, telling me that they're interested in investing into one, is why do you want to use it? Like, what's the purpose behind it? What do you want to get out of it? Because when it comes to this tracker, this little gadget, yes, it is gorgeous, yes, it tracks a lot of data, but it might not be the best fitness tracker for you. If you generally just want to get more into exercise, maybe the Oura Ring might not be your solution. Maybe you would benefit more from a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or even a Whoop band, because the Oura has not been specifically designed to be a fitness tracker. Yes, it has a lot of different capabilities, it does have exercise detection, but if you generally just want to get into fitness, you want to work on your fitness levels and exercise a little bit more, then the Oura Ring might not be for you. I would recommend using a different kind of gadget. However, if you want to not only focus on your fitness levels, on your exercise, but you also want to improve your productivity, improve your sleep quality, recover from your workouts, let's say you're an athlete, the Oura Ring is an amazing tool for you to do that. It tracks your sleep data, it tracks basal body temperature, it tracks your steps, it tracks your heart rate variability, it tracks your recovery index, your latency, your sleep stages, etc. So it has a lot of functionality and it is an absolutely amazing tool to teach you about your body. However, one thing that I would again reiterate on here is that it is not a fitness tracker, it is a wellness tracker, it is a life and sleep optimization tracker. So if you just want to track your workouts, I don't think you necessarily need it. For me personally, the reason why I got to the Oura Ring is because I already had an Apple Watch to track my steps with and to track my exercise with, and I feel like the capabilities of an Apple Watch or a Garmin or a Fitbit or even a Whoop band are absolutely amazing on their own, but I wanted to optimize my sleep because when it comes to my sport, which is bodybuilding, which I am taking a little bit of a hiatus from, recovery is one of the most important things, besides obviously training hard and training smart and eating according to your nutrition plan. So for me, the main purpose for this was to help me sleep better in the beginning because I struggled with insomnia, I struggled with irregular sleep cycles, and I am the kind of person who can stay awake until very, very late and wake up very, very early just because I love my morning routine and I sometimes procrastinate sleep. So the Oura Ring has definitely helped me with that. Another thing that I love to use the Oura Ring for is my productivity. Ever since I have become a business owner, it has been something that has helped me figure out when I'm the most productive, when I'm going to be able to get a lot done. And based on the data that it collects about myself, I can know exactly what days I'm going to be able to get a lot of things done and what days I might need to take a little bit of rest. Because it tracks so much data, it is going to help you optimize your life. That is only if you can interpret the data correctly, which is something that is really, really important to talk about before we get into the pros and cons. If you are someone who gets obsessed with data and who lets gadgets dictate their lives, who takes everything for granted that some data says, for example, if you are someone who gets obsessed with your weight or your calorie numbers, the Oura Ring might not be the best tracker for you just because of the sheer amount of data that it tracks about you. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at the pros and the cons. Firstly, one of the biggest pros that I have put down here is that the Oura tracks so much data about you. There is just so much capability within the app itself, within the ring itself. It tracks your steps, your sleep schedule, your sleep patterns. It tracks your chronotype. It tells you when to go to bed, when to wake up, when is the most ideal time for you to start winding down. It tells you a lot about your body, also tracks your basal body temperature, which is amazing if you have a uterus owner. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And it also can give you an insight into your daily stress. All of this data is there for you to get to know yourself a little bit better. So if you interpret everything correctly and if you're able to take every single measurement with a pinch of salt, even though it might be correct, sometimes, you know, we are going to have days when we're going to feel a little bit more upbeat and a little bit more energetic than the app actually tells us. It is going to be an amazing tool to understand how your body functions based on so many different variables. The app allows you to add different tags. So for example, if you want to learn a little bit more about how your body reacts to red wine versus white wine, if you drink something in the evening, when it is most ideal for you to eat before bed, it is an absolutely amazing tool. Again, I need to reiterate here, if you feel like you are someone who could get too obsessed with the data and could allow that data to basically lead their lives, it might not be the best solution for you. Another thing that I would put down here as a con, even though the data is very, very accurate, is that steps and fitness might not be the most accurate. Because the Oura Ring was not invented to be a step tracker or a fitness tracker, it might be a little bit off. I have personally discovered that my Apple Watch, as opposed to my Oura Ring, tracks steps very, very differently. My Oura Ring tends to over-track by about 2,000 to 4,000 steps every single day, whereas my Apple Watch, which I also wear from morning till night, it tracks things very, very accurately and a little bit more accurately. And the reason behind it is because you use your hands a little bit more than your actual wrist. There's a lot more movement in your hands than your actual wrist. So because of that, the Oura can overestimate your steps a little bit more. Same thing goes with activity. It gives you calories burned, and it might not be the most accurate. Honestly, generally speaking, if you look at calories burned on your fitness tracker, none of them is going to be accurate, so please do disregard that. Focus on the calories that you take in if you are currently working towards your body composition, improving it, or leaning out or dropping some weight. Focus on the calories that you take in instead of your calories out, because all of these fat burning and sort of like calories burned trackers are just very, very generic. So this is just a little, like, you know, I went on a tangent here, but it's super important that you remember that. Going back to the pros, I think it's such an amazing way to use the Oura Ring to get immediate feedback about your body and about your vitals. Ever since I started wearing the Oura Ring, it has come such a long way. In the beginning, as I said, it was only a sleep tracker, but now it tracks daytime stress, it tracks your readiness levels, it tracks your resilience and how it improves. So there's just so much data about how you are doing as a human being that you can get immediate feedback about. Now, talking about immediate feedback, I think a con, or more like something that I feel like a lot of people get wrong when they get the Oura Ring, is that it takes a couple of weeks for it to collect enough data to calibrate to your body. A lot of the times I've seen influencers buy the Oura Ring expecting it to immediately understand their body and how it works, but the reality is that it takes up to 2 to 3 weeks for it to actually calibrate itself to you to understand your body so it can give you the right information and the correct information and breakdown of the data that it collects. But with that, another pro here is that once it has calibrated itself, it is going to be wildly accurate. It is going to blow your mind because it's going to tell you so much about your body. One thing that I would highlight here is that if you are a uterus owner and have a period or want to get a better understanding of how your body moves through your menstrual cycle, if you're currently perimenopausal or menopausal and you want to understand what happens to your body, the Oura Ring does an absolutely amazing job at it because it measures your basal body temperature. It's not going to give you an actual measurement with regards to what your body temperature is, but once it has calculated your basal body temperature, you're going to see all of the different lines and all of the different graphs of how your body temperature changes over time throughout your menstrual cycle. So it is going to allow you to predict your period basically almost fully accurately. I have recently also downloaded the Natural Cycles app and I just started testing it out, but the two sync up with each other very, very seamlessly, and you get a discount if you're using the Natural Cycles app. You can get a discount on the Oura Ring, and if you already have an Oura Ring and want to start tracking your period and get even more of an insight into your period through Natural Cycles, you will get a discount with it too. So I think that's an absolutely amazing thing. So if you want to, you know, use a more natural form of pregnancy prevention, or you just want to understand your body a little bit better as you go through your menstrual cycle, these two work absolutely wonderfully together. However, I would have to put a disclaimer out there. This is not a contraceptive method, okay? It's still very important for you to pay attention and to not make any mistakes that you don't want to make. The app interface of Oura also has an absolutely amazing educational platform, and they do have a newsletter where they write articles based on the data that they collect if you decide to share it with Oura. They use it for research and they basically create absolutely amazing articles and educational resources for you to learn a little bit more about your body. You can also try breath work through the app and also meditation to help you calm down a little bit, wind down a little bit, and de-stress a tiny little bit more. Again, the Oura was designed to improve your health and longevity and also your wellness. So all of these functionalities within the app are absolutely amazing for that. Talking about the amazing educational platform, they also have an absolutely amazing customer service. I have had to replace my ring twice over the past 5 years. One of them was about 1.5 years into me wearing it. The charger stopped working. They swapped out the charger for me, and then we realized that it actually was a ring issue. So they just sent me a new ring to replace it once we have run the diagnostics. And then once I have updated my ring to the Gen 3, we bumped into a very similar issue. Immediately I contacted customer service and they got it fixed within 2 weeks. Now they do run diagnostics and they treat these cases very seriously because they do want a very high quality service. They do want to offer you the best experience. So honestly, I feel like it excels, or just generally excels at this. So if at any point you bump into any problems within the app, you're going to be able to submit a request to help you out, and you're going to get a reply within usually 12 to 24 hours or sooner. Now with that said, a con that I would put down here is that even though it says that it is supposed to be scratch free and waterproof, yes, it is 100% waterproof. I've tested it out in the water and it has absolutely amazing activity detection. Immediately it detected that I was swimming. But even though it says that it should be scratch free, over time you're going to see some wear and tear on this ring. I have been wearing this gold one for quite a few years now, and I think I'm overdue for an upgrade, but you can definitely see that it's scratched itself. Now mind you, I take the ring off every time I go to the gym to lift weights because I just want to minimize the scratches that it's going to get, and I also don't want to snap it in half because your girl lifts heavy. Even though I've been taking it off regularly whenever I am doing exercise that involves lifting weights, it still is going to get scratched and you are still going to see some wear and tear on it. This is not included under the warranty, so they are not going to replace your ring just because of natural wear and tear. However, again, going back to customer service, if you at any point encounter any problems with your ring, you can inquire with customer service and they are going to help you out so quickly. And obviously it is an investment in your health. It is already a big investment to buy this up front. It is about 250 to 450 pounds depending on what kind of ring you choose, whether you want to get the Gen 3, Gen 4, whether you want to choose a specific color. I know that they had an extra charge for the gold ring and the rose gold versions of the ring. If, for example, you want to get the Gen 3 and you don't want it to have this flat top, then you will need to pay a little bit of extra, but honestly, like, you don't need to go crazy with it. It depends on what your preferences are. A con here that I would put down though when it comes to pricing is that even though you already make the investment to buy the ring, you are going to have to pay a subscription fee to unlock the full features of the ring and to be able to see all of your body data. Now, if this is something that you are not willing to do, it's totally fine. You're still going to get access to some of your data, but it's not going to give you a full picture about your body. And I am actually one of the lucky ones who has been with Oura for the past 5 years, right? I've been wearing this ring for the past 5 years. I started out with Gen 2, now wearing Gen 3, and they gave me a lifetime subscription, so I don't have to pay this. So if you have been with Oura for a long time, this does not apply to you. However, if you are buying the ring now, you're going to enter into that subscription cycle, which technically is just £9-10-ish per month, and it is an absolutely amazing investment into your health if you are able to interpret that data objectively, if you're able to also interpret that data while being a little bit introspective and asking yourself the right questions about how you are interpreting that data. Because as I said before, sometimes your readiness score might be super low, but you might be feeling super energetic. So take it always with a pinch of salt and make sure that you are interpreting it not as a thing that is set in stone, but rather as something to anchor you, or kind of like a milestone that you can compare how you actually feel to. And then obviously, last but not least, the biggest pro that I have put down here is that it looks so much nicer than any other fitness and wellness tracking thing. So I have been wearing the Apple Watch for quite a long time. It has served me really, really well, and I have got the Oura for the past 5 years. I have been using the Apple Watch and the Oura Ring in conjunction with each other. Before having an Apple Watch, I used to have a Fitbit, and I can definitely say that if you, for example, don't want a fitness tracker to ruin your outfit, the Oura Ring is an absolutely amazing solution for it. If you are someone who doesn't like wearing things on their wrist, like I love wearing things only on my left wrist, then, you know, it is an absolutely amazing solution. One thing that's gonna happen, and that might happen though, is that your finger might have a little bit of an indent. It's not the actual bone that's gonna get an indent, but your finger is going to get used to it. So I usually tend to alternate between my middle, pointer, and ring finger, depending on how I'm feeling and depending on my body weight too, because your girl, because of bodybuilding, loses quite a bit of weight whenever she's in competition prep. So sometimes I have to alternate between the fingers, sometimes I just do it because that's how I'm feeling, but it honestly sits the best on my index finger on my left hand, my non-dominant hand, which is what they recommend that you wear it on. And even though it is beautiful, last but not least, a little bit of a con that I'm going to give you a very easy solution to is that people complain about the battery life. It is, yes, another gadget that you have to charge, so the battery is going to die after a while. The Oura Ring usually lasts 5 to 8 days, depending on your usage, depending on the amount of data that it tracks. And I feel like a lot of people have complained previously about the battery life, but in my opinion, it's still a lot better than having to charge your Apple Watch every single night, okay? When it comes to the battery life, I have found a way around it to extend it a tiny little bit. So now my Oura Ring basically lasts me about 7 to 14 days, depending. The little switch that you can make for yourself is turning off the blood oxygen sensors. So basically it doesn't track your blood oxygen levels. If you obviously need that piece of data, because for example, you have caught the big C, COVID, or you have some blood oxygen level issues, then please keep it on, because it's a really, really good piece of data that you can track for yourself. But if you want to extend your battery life, just go into your settings and turn it off. Another thing that you can do is, if you don't want to obsessively pick up your phone and check your data every single morning and your readiness score, you can put the ring into airplane mode, which can extend the battery life up to 3 weeks, and then you can basically just sync it up with the app once you put the ring on a charger. However, again, this makes it a little bit harder for you to see the data that is collecting. But the big pro with this is that if you're going on holiday, you can just put your ring into airplane mode, and once you're back from your holiday, you can just sync up all of the data that it has collected, while also adding in some tags for yourself while you are away. So once the data syncs up, you will see what happened at which part of your trip, because you have tracked the tags that you have added to the app. But again, you can extend the battery life by turning off the blood oxygen sensor already, and then if you want to extend it even further, the Oura Ring can track data for quite a few weeks and keep it in itself in this little tiny little piece, and then sync up later to your app once you put it back on the charger, so I wouldn't worry too much about the battery life. Talking about battery life, as I said, like I still have to put my Apple Watch on charge every single night, and I thought this would lead us into me telling you the exact differences between the Apple Watch and the Oura Ring if you are considering buying any of these, or if you are conflicted between the two. My Apple Watch I mainly use for fitness tracking and also to sync up with my phone, so that is the purpose of it. For me, my Apple Watch is my fitness tracker. Before that, I had a Fitbit that was my fitness tracker, so I use my Apple Watch as my alarm in the morning. Yes, I do sleep in my watch sometimes. It definitely does help me wake up very, very easily. It has a really nice interface, so I can always check, obviously, the time. It has a lot of functionality with regards to fitness tracking. I just personally absolutely love tracking all of my workouts because I have been doing it for quite a few years. The more consistently you can track data the same way, the more consistent you are going to be able to interpret the data correctly too. So for me, I use my Apple Watch for step tracking because it's just a little bit more accurate. I use it for, you know, obviously to sync it up with my phone and sometimes take calls from it, which is super cool because back in the days, who would have thought that we are going to be able to take calls from our wrist? And I also use it to track my workouts. When it comes to the Oura Ring, I use it as more of a wellness tracker, as more of something to help me improve my health, help me improve my life. It does sync up with Apple Health, so you can sync up Oura Ring and your Apple Watch and then decide where you want, so which one you want to track certain data points with, and then it all syncs up together. So I use my Oura Ring to track my sleep stages, my latency when it comes to my sleep, my basal body temperature, period prediction. I use it for so many different things, and it also gives me an insight into, for example, when I might be coming down with some sort of an illness, which is honestly absolutely amazing that it does this. So when I was ill in January, for example, it immediately alerted me, telling me, hey, by the way, your readiness score was really low for the past 2 days. It might be time for you to turn rest mode on and maybe just relax a little bit more. So for that reason, I feel like the Oura Ring is absolutely amazing if you want to improve your health, if you want to learn more about your body. So yeah, there you have it. These are my very honest, non-sponsored, I wish I was sponsored by Oura, honestly. These are my very non-sponsored and honest thoughts about the Oura Ring. I genuinely feel like it has added a lot to my life because I know how to interpret data. I have been working in fitness and wellness for the past 7+ years, helping over 300 women transform their bodies and their lives, improve their wellness, improve their health without having an Oura Ring. So you don't necessarily need the ring to improve your wellness. However, if this is something that you are interested in, you love biohacking, you want to learn about your body, you want to basically experience your body a little bit differently through data, then I would 100% recommend it if you can make the investment. It is a really cool gadget. It collects a lot of data about you and it will help you understand your body a little bit better. However, if you are just looking for a simple fitness tracker, go with a Fitbit, go with an Apple Watch if you have, you know, if you want to be in that Apple environment, or go with a Whoop band if you don't mind how it looks. I personally don't like how a Whoop band looks because Whoop and Oura, I would say, are the closest with regards to functionality. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me know your questions below because, as I said, I've been wearing this gadget for over 5 years now and I am not going to take it off my finger anytime soon because I just love it so much. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you haven't yet, make sure that you click subscribe, like this video, comment something nice below for the girlies, and share this video with a friend who is considering buying either an Oura Ring or some sort of a fitness/wellness tracker so they can get a little bit more educated, so they can make the most informed decision about it, coming from someone who has been wearing this tracker for 5 years. But with that, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much again for watching this video. If you made it this far, I love you. You're absolutely amazing, and I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next week.